This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the June 3rd meeting of the Board of Public Works. I'll make a motion to open this evening's meeting.
Second motion.
Thomas Pillsbury?
Yes.
Leah Strode?
Yes.
Gil Hogan?
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Item number 1 is public speak. I don't believe we have anybody wishing to address the board. Item number 2 is approval of the May 6, 2026 meeting minutes. I will make a, let's see, which one was?
The one Leah and
was this
you.
one.
Yep.
Yep.
Thomas
So-
Pillsbury.
This will be for Leah and I to approve. Any issues with Heather Parrott? I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Thomas Pillsbury?
Yes.
Leah Strode?
Yes.
Both in favor, motion carries.
All right.
Thank you.
Item number 3, approval of the May 20th, 2026 meeting minutes for Gil and I. Any issue with as they're prepared?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
No, second.
Thomas Pillsbury?
Yes.
Gil Hogan?
Yes.
Both in favor, motion carries.
All right, on to the meat of this evening. Item number 4, Main Street presentation from Bowman. I'll give a little background or...
So as everyone knows, we've been working through the redesign of Main Street through the Mass DOT, which has been funded through the Mass DOT Transportation Improvement Program. Construction 2029 probably at this point, 2028?
2028, 2029, yeah.
So we've received comments back from Mass DOT on our design and have a little bit of an updated design to present to the Board of Public Works this evening. So Paul Farrell from Phoenix Associates is here. He's the lead designer on this project and project manager, I'd say, right, is here to kind of go through where we're at and the changes that we made since the board last saw this design and go over a little bit of the feedback we received from Mass DOT regarding our project.
Excellent. Just to recap the project limits, for us familiar with the start of the project, it starts at the southern end of Route 10 Main Street at the Park Street intersection, continues all the way north towards the bridge here and extends, and it's gonna extend and touch the bridge actually under this future connection. This concept's not showing, but it's another 180 feet or so until the bridge from where we have it. I'm going to go over the major changes that have happened since the previous submission. So, as Greg mentioned, we had a Mass DOT comment resolution meeting that occurred about 3 weeks ago. As part of our resolution meeting, we met with Mass DOT District 2 out of Northampton, as well as we had representatives from Mass DOT Boston office that had Mass DOT traffic reps. It also had highway design, as well as other departments, landscape design, and other departments that basically provided feedback on the submission that we made last year. As part of our work, we had the project resulted in a couple changes since the previous. So we submitted a 25% and received comments, and some of the changes that I'd like to summarize first and foremost, just for the team to, if you remember, at the Park Street intersection, this is one of the improvement changes. So the geometry will stay the same. The idea for the most part is to keep the 25% design as we had it discussed before. The one thing that changes, we're no longer going to have a traffic signal. For us that were at this intersection discussion last year, one of the items that we thought we were on the fence of it, needing a signal, not needing a signal. Some of the data that we received suggested that a signal would be warranted at this intersection. However, Mass DOT came back and said, well, let's relook at the data and let's take out the amount of right-hand turns that are coming off of Park and going northbound. So we reevaluated that. There was process known as the intersection control evaluation process that every single intersection has to go through in the state if it's being funded or if it's under the DOT jurisdiction. As part of that work, you analyze the life cycle costs, you analyze the delays, you analyze potential crashes, and you add up all those figures and you project it to 20 years. And not having a signal was slightly better of having a signal. So at this location, the big change is the signal operation has been taken out, and instead it's going to operate as a one-way stop, meaning the one-way stop coming from Park. For us that travel this intersection, as we know, it's great on your neck, particularly when you got to look left and see if there's cars. So we got rid of that particular challenge by making it more of a 90-degree intersection as it's approaching. So we did our best that we could with the geometry. As you'll notice, there's some brick-like patterns, which are aprons, sort of like what you would see at a roundabout. And the reason why we put those there is for vehicles, the heavy vehicles, trucks, trailers are gonna track over this with their rear wheels and be able to make a right-hand turn.
That would be similar to the ones at Ferry Street Roundabout right now. So.
Correct. Yes, exactly. Thank you. So the design here is geometrically the same. However, there was one thing that we changed since we originally submitted. We actually shaved off a little bit more at this corner here. It's still within the city right away, so there's no impact to the memorial that's there. But it's certainly still going to be operational as it was before. But actually, it's going to be a little better because now we're going to allow a little more sweep area for trucks and vehicles making this movement. So that was one change that was implemented. Before I go to the next intersection, are there any questions at this location?
Would these crosswalks be signalized?
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. No, not signalized. We could certainly propose a RRFB crossing here. That's something that we're discussing with the city. One of the pushbacks that we're getting from Mass DOT throughout this project is having too many RFPs. Their push is we don't want to have them within 300 feet of other controlled intersections. So that's something that we want to talk about is if we do have one, do we put it at this side or do we put it on the southern side? So those are some of the things that we need to evaluate to see which one is best for the project, if one's even warranted.
Right, sure.
Now, before I go, any other questions at this location?
And is that a one-way out from next to Pepin School?
Right now, we show it as operating as a two-way driveway like approach, but obviously it's dependent on however the future redevelopment plans occur at this location.
So it's possible that somebody could be coming this way and then turn all the way.
Correct. Continuing north, things are looking very similar to what we had before. One more thing I want to just bring up at this location. One of the comments didn't get implemented here, but it's going to be discussed. What we're trying to accomplish, we have a shared use path that currently terminates at this location here with the old Pepin School exit here. The thing is, we know that there's going to be bike users that are going to be going southbound. So rather than dumping them out to here, we're going to have the idea, and we're still baking this a little bit, is to reduce this to more of a sidewalk width here, and then force them to come out here at this location to make a decision to either go down Park or to cross the street and then utilize the roadway shoulder going southbound. That's a slight change from what you see there.
On the left, to the left of the Pepin School Drive there,
Yes.
that sidewalk, is that 3 feet matching existing?
Well, it's gonna be 5 feet. All sidewalks that are proposed are gonna be 5 feet and then match existing.
So what's to the right, how wide is that? 8?
The shared use path, use path.
I think it's 10 foot, right?
You're talking about this thing?
What's
Yes,
the
shared
yes,
use?
yes, 10.
What's the material of the shared use?
It's gonna be asphalt,
Okay, okay.
similar to what you have on the rail trail,
You said 10 feet wide?
10 feet wide. So continuing north, this intersection has changed a little bit. We've broken up to have more mast arms. One of the requests we had from Mass DOT was not to share signal placement on one mast arm for multiple directions. So instead, we broke it up to 2 mast arms. The geometry is going to go with something you see here. The red shaded area is the anticipated property taking that we would need to work out with the church property or the church to figure out, in terms of how we can make this work with the shared use path as well as tying into our project needs. So that's a representation of what is not city way. The one thing that I do want to share is that much of this area that you see in red is already encroached upon with equipment and city features that are in place today. One other change that hasn't been really discussed, but we were still trying to work with the overall project area is the access to the businesses at this location. The blue area here represents a little raised platform, plaza-like area, and the left side and the right side, so page right, page left, so the north and the south side of this are going to be ramps that are going to be brought up to an elevation that is going to best match the finished floor of the businesses. So we consider this a huge ADA win in terms of allowing accessibility to the building entrances along this section of the project. The front, so you'll see we're going to have a couple steps here that users can utilize if they choose to walk up the steps, or they can walk around or they could, if the accessible user needs to get around with the wheelchair, we can make it work with accessing it from either end.
The ramps are not shown in this view, right? That is the ramp?
That's going to be approximately the ramp location here is this.
Oh, so it's not elevated too high,
We anticipate 2 steps. So it could be 12 inches
foot,
a
okay.
foot. Yes. So one of the opportunities that this is one of the most interesting little equations that we have. So we're doing a full depth reconstruction of the runway, similar to what was done in Union, where we're going to raise the profile in some cases, work with changing the alignments, the vertical alignment, so we can help us get to the building entrances, right? Because ADA's got to be met, and there's so many maximums that we can have in so much space. So it's a combination of grading in this area to help us with meeting that. So it works out with this type of improvement.
What are the little circles with the squares?
Tables, these here, tables and seats. This is something that could be implemented. We showed it from a visualization standpoint. If these businesses wanted to throw out some tables, this is what it would look like.
Not something we'd be building.
Not necessarily, yeah, correct.
And then the green is some sort of stormwater feature.
No, here I don't think we would do a stormwater. So these are relatively small areas. Yeah, it's a buffer. It's a grade buffer, right? So if we have a 12-inch drop, more than some cases higher than that. But we could work with adding some landscape features in this area to make it blend in and soften up the hardscape.
If anything, it would just be taking the sidewalk anyway. just
Correct.
For where it's adjacent to.
And there's some existing trees and whatnot we need to work around as well to protect. So continuing north, one of the things that is the bigger change in the project is this. If you remember, we had a little parking area here, and we received pushback and confused. Basically, what we received was feedback that this area is confusing, and one of the challenges with the design was trying to work in parking, but then also provide this U-turn or this left turn that would be necessary to reverse direction to go towards Pleasant, because obviously it's a one-way direction all around the park, and it's acting almost like a roundabout / rotary as you go around Pulaski Park. So what we did instead, to simplify the vehicle movements, particularly trucks as well as vehicles northbound, we had to remove this parking area. As a result, what we had was we actually moved the stop bar up closer. This is actually a much better position to stop and then inch your way forward to take a right turn at this location. This also removed this other secondary access, right, that would be parallel to this with this little pocket parking area that was installed. So with that, we were able to extend the stop bar and make this less confusing and more of a expected intersection control with the movements. The other thing that is very beneficial with this, and this is what we would ideally have, and I'll show you similar concepts, is this apron here. As you know, there's a monument here. What this does is provide more protection at this corner, because if you look out, if you go there, you'll see that there's a monument right at that corner, and this provides more of a buffer and protection from that being hit. Similar to here. So here, if you notice, we have that same little apron here, similar to that, as well as this side. Initially, we didn't have this because we were trying to work the intersecting approaches to accommodate this pocket parking area.
So I just want to make sure we mention that by moving the stop bar up on Campus Lane, we picked up a couple spaces on
We did,
Campus
yes.
Lane there.
Yes, exactly.
So although we lost a few, we gained a couple back.
Correct. So as part of this, we also shifted the shared use path over. And this might be an opportunity for us to have some bioretention or some green infrastructure here at this location. That's something we're still coordinating with the city, and the ultimate footprint of what that system's gonna look like. Continuing north, the rest of the project really remained the same in terms of what we would need. So parking on both sides of the street here.
We were requested to go a little further up Pleasant Street though,
Correct.
too.
Yes. So we actually need, our project is gonna extend a little bit into here just to make sure the reciprocal ramps are met. So we're gonna reconstruct these two ramps and the sidewalk approach coming here. In this area, we're relatively similar. So the shared use path crosses here, continues towards Northampton Street. We have crossings, just to recap, we have a couple crossings, or several crossings, one here to the park. And we tried to place them in areas where they didn't conflict with drivers as they were trying to make a decision with other yield points or other areas. So we wanted to make sure they were in spots that there's plenty of visibility first and foremost, pedestrian safety was paramount with the way that this was laid out. You have a significant amount of asphalt in this section of Main Street, and with this improvement, there's a significant amount of pedestrian improvements, reduced the crossings, made the park more accessible. It's less of an island with these concepts, and we're able to provide connectivity with the shared use path all the way to the bridge. There was one other tweak that we provided, and this is not really significant, but in terms of the project, there is a little curve under existing conditions as you approach in the southbound direction towards Pulaski. What we did was we actually pushed the alignment a little bit over to the west, to the left here, page left, to minimize impacts to these properties with the widening and the shared use path that would be constructed. So this actually bought us a lot of right-of-way or lack of right-of-way impacts. We wouldn't be impacting any right-of-way with this current. So basically with the grading and the improvements that we have, we minimize any impact to the neighboring parcels. So in a nutshell, this is what our project has going forward. We envision, we're working with Mass DOT. Our next step is to schedule a public design hearing with Mass DOT. It's going to be virtual, is my understanding, is what their current plan is. In terms of the meeting that Mass DOT has, if you've ever been part of one, it's very robotic in nature, where it's formatted to virtually read what the presentation is. So basically we're going to go over the overall project limits, go over what the project is going to do in terms of meeting the project goals, and then ultimately it opens up the project or to questions to the team, or not so much the team, but to the general public to answer any questions they might have with what's happening here. And this is it.
So we hope that shared use path will eventually link up with shared use path that MassDOT is going to construct in their improvements to Northampton Street corridor.
Correct. There will be a gap at the bridge, but that's something that they need to figure out.
So that's part of why we don't have survey to the bridge now too, because as part of, in between, I would say the 10, 25%, they requested that we extend to the bridge. So we had to get some additional survey and everything, so.
Yes. We did get that actually.
Yeah, we do, but it's,
Yeah.
you know,
The one thing just another step that's going to happen, is going to be another action that we need to make with the city council. So as part of the right-of-way research that we've done throughout the project, it turns out that there's no established, we couldn't find any city records that an established right-of-way on Main Street exists, as well as some of the intersecting streets. So our team is in the process of developing an approach and basically formalizing the right-of-way as it's defined currently with deeded information, record layouts, record plans from all the way going back to the 1800s. So the goal is, as a parallel track to our design, is to work with the city council to have them formally accept that section of Main Street as a public way, as a city way. There's no takings, it's just formalizing no takings with that right-of-way right-of-way
formalization.
formalization, thank you. It's gonna be recorded with the deed, registry of deeds, and utilized as part of our right-of-way process.
Any additional questions or?
I'm curious, because I know this is the question you're gonna get about it. what is the total, like, what's the net parking situation?
I didn't bring the slide with me that had that summary, but I believe the net loss is 8, but here's what we gotta understand. If the city was to resurface this roadway, repave it, many of the spaces that are out there are not compliant with current standards, where typically you need to have, a certain offset to driveway entrances, offset to utilities or, hydrants, offsets from intersections. So it's not something that is drastic, but, one of the feedback that we received from some of our public information meetings that we had, many of the neighbors, particularly church properties that are adjacent, were volunteering to allow public access to their lots, to their surface lots, to be able to walk and park at their lot to access local businesses. So we don't believe that that's going to be an impact to the downtown.
Union Street was very similar, where there was a number of spaces that were not up to today's standards that had to be removed to get that project in.
Yeah, so it sounds like, with the churches volunteering especially, it might be a gain.
Absolutely.
Remembering we also still have Campus Lane too, that is, we're not gonna be restriping it technically, but there's gonna still be plenty of space to
Yes.
park. I frequently park there when I'm going to downtown, so,
Totally, and it looks like there's a lot.
and we're maintaining that, yeah, so.
And the parking that is going to be around the park is going to be much easier access for someone to park and just get in there, utilize the park for events or picnics or things of that nature. So
Remind me, what's the red?
property takings.
Got it.
And a lot of that has to do with the shared use path. We're going from
Correct.
like a sidewalk to a 10-foot wide shared use path.
And correct.
Has there been any preliminary discussions with those property owners of potential takings, or
So
any?
we wanted to make sure that the property lines that the takings we were looking to propose were going to be beyond preliminary with Mass DOT's feedback, because a lot of this was changing and we didn't want to have a discussion that wasn't going to be reality.
Understood.
Is there anywhere existing that anywhere that the shared use path is already existing?
No,
No, it's not all new.
So it's all new, okay.
And that wraps around to the crossing there on Pleasant and then goes up Northampton Street.
correct.
Cool. What stage of design is it at?
We're beyond 25, we're going to a public design hearing. Once the public design meeting happens, we then are technically at 75% with Mass DOT.
Where the traffic flow turns, where you've got the apron, on the other side of that, is that a raised curb? Is that,
Where, right here?
yes, just to the right? Yes, right there.
This right here?
No, the
Oh, right here?
Yes,
Oh,
an
that's
island.
raised, yes, raised island.
Okay, great.
And then that's hatching, it's just painted hatching right to the left of it, but
Okay.
that gap
And then
there, yeah.
Do you have a raised island also at that crossing that has been significantly shortened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a huge improvement right there to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little
Main Street.
shelter.
Yeah.
I prefer to take my life in my hands.
And it was just narrow, I mean, it's like 100
Living on the
feet
edge,
right now.
Well, and it deters people
Especially-
from trying that
Especially in flip flops, you're like.
out of campus lane.
Yeah, especially from the childcare center right there.
Yeah.
Just wait until a blowout happens with one of those flip-flops.
Yeah.
Have there been any conversations with PBTA about the bus stop right there?
Yes, we did coordinate with them. It's still ongoing, so we're sharing with them our updates as we proceed.
One other question. Oh, wait, never mind. The arrow.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, the arrow, the turning lane. I was wondering what was going on with the lane.
Yeah.
Turning lane, no, got it.
This one here to campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an important movement to make sure to have because we don't want those occasional.
Well, right, but also
Cars.
that currently there's just 2 lanes, so it will be effectively 1 lane.
Mostly going through, yeah, other than that
And
turning
I
lane.
guess it widens at the lights.
Yeah.
For that other left turn. Yeah. But yeah, straight through traffic has a 1 lane now.
And there's still no left turn from campus lane,
No,
technically.
the one thing that this actually
It's
does.
actually gonna be harder now too with that island.
The one thing that this left turn at this turnaround kind of, one thing it does provide, a defined no yield condition that does not exist today. So right now, cars are stopping at times and they could be potentially blocking the southbound movements as they're trying to reverse direction to go to Pleasant.
So where would the yield be?
The yield be
Right there.
outside, so similar roundabout where you yield before you enter.
Okay.
And that's the treatment at all corners.
It'll take some getting used to.
Yeah, it's reversed.
It's not
No, it's not technically.
clearly defined, I would say right now.
That's another taking your life in your hands. Okay.
Luckily, there's not usually that many people coming fully around. I mean, there is, but not that many, but.
It's gonna get rid of that random Facebook poster that keeps asking what you should be doing at that location.
Yeah, I mean, the basic goal in this was to slow people down but keep them moving through here.
Mhm.
And that involved like a lot of narrowing. As we were talking about, that crosswalk is, I want to say, like half the width now. And then obviously going through, which is going to be a huge change for people, having a narrow rotary roundabout, whatever we want to call it. But people fly through there right now, so.
No, it's all an improvement.
Yeah.
I know we're far out, but what is a project of this scale with all the regrading? What would be the timeline for construction? A 2-year project like Union or try a?
Because we're also doing some utilities as
Yeah, that's
well.
what I was gonna say. It'll be a multi-phased.
Correct.
Can you zoom in on the intersection with Northampton Street? Are there steps there?
No, it's just,
Okay.
these are just
Oh,
brake
I see.
lines for the
For
ramp.
ramps.
So this is actually one location where we are removing the steps that are there today. So with our grading and the full depth, that is certainly removed as part of our improvements at this location.
Thank you very much for the presentation and the update.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Paul.
Any further discussion on that topic?
Thank you.
Thank you again.
Glad I got the HDMI one.
I think we all are. It's a lot easier to see up there, standing around the roll plan, right?
Yeah, I got confused by it being
Yeah,
audio, but
Well, I think that's if we actually like do hybrid as opposed to
okay.
just the video, probably.
Oh, maybe, you know what, it might be that old owl microphone thing too that used to
Yeah,
sit
that's probably
here.
the audio
spin
and the
around.
video is
Yeah.
the, yeah.
got it. Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Talk to you soon.
See you.
Anything else we need for?
No,
or-
we're good.
Cool.
Thanks, Diane. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
All right, with that, I'll move on to item number 5, discussion of enterprise indirect cost allocations. We've had this continuing pending information from the mayor and the city auditor, but I have not received anything to date.
No.
I think they are fully occupied with other financial issues at this moment.
Yeah, I know.
I'll make a motion, unless anybody has any input that they want to add to the discussion, I will just make a motion to continue it to our next meeting.
Second.
Salisbury,
Yep.
Leestra,
Yes.
Hillhouse,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, and then item number 6, director's report.
Great. So I have some progress to report here. The contractor was on site at the wastewater plant last Thursday, removed the 2 aerators that are currently offline. We always have 2 offline generally at the wastewater plant. So 2 were sent out for machining. Estimated 10-day turnaround on getting them back to the machine shop. We should have those back next week. And we're gonna put them through a full range of testing before swapping anything around. going to
10-day
the other side.
turnaround?
Yeah. Machine shop.
Once they arrive?
They're out, we're brought right to the machine shop in Connecticut.
Oh, it's, okay,
Back in 2
alright.
days. Yeah, it's
They
just
just need to be
machining and then
surfaced,
deliveries.
right? Yeah.
Once those are back, we'll then test them, make sure everything's fine, put those, in a perfect world, put those aerators online, remove the other 2, send those out for machining, and then work will progress to the return and waste pump replacement. Fort Hill Road, we finished the contracting process with ET&L. I think at our last meeting, I informed the board that ET&L was a successful bidder for the Fort Hill Road resurfacing and bridge deck project. We have a pre-construction meeting with them tomorrow, so I'm hoping to have a anticipated construction schedule for our next meeting.
Okay.
That's all I have for that right now.
Do they have notice to proceed? Is that what you just said?
They do, well, pre-construction tomorrow, then we'll issue that, but yeah, all the
Okay.
contract docs, everything's in place.
When is that when are you thinking that might happen?
I'll know tomorrow.
Okay.
They could tell me they're gonna start in September, they could tell me they're gonna start next week. Yeah, I won't know until tomorrow.
This season.
Yeah, it should happen this season, yes.
Okay.
It's a project that I think without any major issues, they're gonna be in and out of there pretty quick,
Okay, that's good.
barring any unforeseen problems. But yeah, I'll have a better idea of what their timeline is tomorrow.
Understood.
The Water Department SCADA project, we've completed the review process of the 2 proposals we received. We had one from Elm Electric and one from Aaron Associates. Myself, Mike Owens, the city's procurement officer, and Clayton Whitelars, who's our city utility supervisor, were the review committee for those 2 proposals. We found the proposal from Aaron Associates to align more closely with the goals and objectives of the project, as well as the experience that Aaron Associates listed in their proposal to be more in line with the type of work that we're doing in that project. So they were found to be the most favorable firm of the 2 proposals we received. So with that in the RFP process, we then opened their price submittal. And they came in at $278,000 for the work. We have a budget of $283,000, so that was excellent to see. That $283,000, you may remember, is coming from $147,000 community compact IT grant that IT department helped us secure, and $136,000 what we appropriated last year from enterprise retained earnings to have that $283,000 available for the work to start. So Mike's very, very, very busy right now with all the projects and contracts and things coming out. So we'll be working on getting a contract in place with them over the next several weeks, and looking forward to getting that work officially started. One thing I did want to make sure the board was aware of is that the Safe Routes to School project is moving along on Park Street. We've got 25% plans from Mass DOT. We had a rehearsal, they call it, for the virtual design public hearing that's scheduled for June 10th at 6:30. It's all online. I can email you each the flyer if you haven't seen it. The mayor's office shared it out, I think did a press release.
What did you call this?
The Safe Routes to School project, that's gonna build a 10-foot wide multi-use path from Ord Avenue to the new school along Park Street.
Okay.
So basically
Okay,
connects the bike path at Ord Avenue up the hill there, down Park Street to the new school.
Ward Ave is right near the bridge over the path?
Yeah, the dry bridge there.
Yeah, okay.
So that virtual design public hearing, June 10th at 6:30. It's all online.
Okay.
So it also, like Paul was describing, a somewhat robotic process for that. It's kind of, we went through the way MassDOT handles those, and it's pretty regimented, but there is time for public input. So
Shocking.
it's a neat project. I mean, one thing that's really important with that, given the city's financial state right now, we have about $1.8 million in state and federal funding coming to Easthampton for that. There will be some city funding needed for the right-of-way acquisition. We don't have a dollar amount to put to that yet. I've been talking with the mayor about it, but if I had to guess, it's going to be it could be between $300,000 and $500,000 for the right-of-way acquisition to build that path. However, that money will unlock the $1.8 million in federal funding to build the path, federal and state funding to build the path. So there will be some cost, but it's not, it's in a good proportion.
Yeah.
There's a good return on
Yes.
that investment.
Yes.
Understood. All right.
And that's all I've got for tonight, but it's
Awesome.
a lot of progress, so a lot
Yeah.
of stuff moving along right now.
All right. Any further discussion on any topics we've addressed this evening? With that, I will thank everyone for their time and make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
I'll say.
Thomas Felsberg,
Yes.
Leah Strode,
Yes.
Gil Hogan,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carries.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.